Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 196. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 21st of October 2015, beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Invincible number 124, Reboot, Part 1. This one is big, folks. We're going back to square one. Mark suddenly finds himself without powers, back home, but aware of everything he's lived through. What does he change? Who can he save? And how will he deal with his father now that he knows what's coming? As is typical, details are few from Image and Skybound, and I've already discussed this previously, but I'm reassured by the question mark in the title and suspect that this is once again Kirkman playing with some of the standard comic tropes as he's done throughout the entire Invincible run, which I highly recommend reading. Although we have 12 years of continuity behind the series, there have been several quote-unquote jumping-on points, including recent issues 101, 111, and 118, so a reboot is not necessarily required for new readers to come on board the title, but this may just be another opportunity to poke a little fun at the industry while providing yet another point for people to check out one of my favorite comics. I believe/hope that this will more than likely be a divergence for a brief story detour, and that we'll ultimately return to the current storyline with so much development behind it. However, Kirkman has never been afraid to make dramatic changes and drastic departures in the past, so anything is possible, but once again I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and anxious to see where it goes. At number 2, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 2. Spider-Man has gone global. Parker Industries is more successful than ever. With offices in New York, Shanghai, London, and San Francisco, Peter Parker is racking up the frequent flyer miles with his bodyguard Spider-Man in tow, of course. But success breeds enemies, and a reinvigorated Zodiac have also widened their scope to threaten the whole world. Join Dan Slott and Giuseppe Camuncoli as they take Spider-Man to the next level. Series writer Dan Slott spoke about what to expect. Quote, "One of the things I always loved was there was always a triangle. There's all these characters who are vying for Pete's attention, and I think you're going to get back to that. You're going to see all kinds of different characters we know and care about." Close quote. He went on to say, quote, "When you're reading Peter Parker Amazing Spider-Man, you're going to get the Spider-Man you've been reading about since 1962 going to all new levels. Can he do the street stuff? Sure, but he can do that times 10. It's everything you know, everything you care about, amped up to a level you've never seen before. It's not just this guy is Spider-Man or that guy is Spider-Man. Peter Parker isn't just the greatest Spider-Man. We're out to make him the world's greatest superhero." Close quote. At number 3, we have Invincible Iron Man number 2. Exploding out of the pages of Secret Wars, one of the most popular superheroes in the world gets a gigantic new series. From the creators that brought you Ultimate Spider-Man comes new armor, new supporting cast, new villains, and a new purpose that's going to tear itself across the entire Marvel Universe and beyond. Series writer Brian Michael Bendis discussed his take on Tony. Quote, "I see Tony as a very romantic character. Not a horn dog, but eager for true connection and love. At the same time, there's something really fascinating about someone who literally wraps himself up in metal and everything that the armor means on a symbolic level. So there's that. So like Howard Hughes referring to himself as an aviator, I think Tony would refer to himself as an inventor before a superhero or an avenger or philanthropist, and that I find very romantic. And Tony alone in his lab is so exciting. I remember when I was watching one of the early cuts of the first Iron Man movie, I was like, I could watch him play in his lab all day. And now people are worried that that's all this book is going to be, but it's not. I guess that's my connection to his character, as someone who could spend an enormous amount of time alone in his studio. I guess I find the time he spends in his lab religious and spiritual. I think that's an interesting thing that the other characters don't have." Close quote. At number 4, we have Justice League number 45. The critically acclaimed Darkseid War continues as the second wave of war begins with Darkseid War, Gods and Men. Writer Jeff Johns is joined by superstar artist Francis Manapul for this special featuring on the all-new, all-powerful Justice League. In the aftermath of the cataclysmic events of Justice League number 44, members of the League have gained great power, the power of gods, but at a great price. And that price may be their destruction, unless Wonder Woman and Mr. Miracle can help the League escape the curse of the new gods and hold on to their humanity. Series writer Jeff Johns shared his plans for the League. Quote, "I don't want to spoil it too much, but this storyline is very much challenging our Justice League characters. And as you'll see at the apex of Darkseid War, what Jay and I wanted to do was push our characters further. Does more power make them more godlike? We wanted to explore that. What is the definition of a god? Is it power? Is it humanity? Is it action? There are a lot of different things there. So it's just our characters going through changes, and Superman specifically on Apokolips. This will play out for quite a while." Close quote. At number 5, we have Tokyo Ghost number 2. Constables Led Dent and Debbie Decay are given their final mission: purge their bodies of all technology and invade the Garden Nation of Tokyo. Series writer Rick Remender explained his intentions for the book. Quote, "With Led and Debbie Decay, I wanted to develop something where there was an addict and a codependent relationship as a starting point. Now, where those characters go, nobody's going to be able to predict, because we've done, I think, some really interesting and exciting things with the characters and where they're going. But as a starting point, I found it very interesting, and it was something that I know when I'm excited to dig into and write it and examine it, it's usually a good book. It gives me something more to write than just conflict or fun action. There's plenty of conflict and fun action, because at the core of it, there's this relationship that's really a love story about these two people, and that's ultimately then dipped into Judge Dredd and Road Warrior and 13 Assassins and a couple of other things as the story develops to tell a story that I think is one of the greatest. In sort of the juxtaposition of where the characters begin and where they end, they're very intense character arcs that are earned and natural, but a story that is ultimately original and still potentially has enough social commentary that it might make people reconsider checking their cell phones when they're out to dinner." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we have Darth Vader number 11. Aphra's private investigation on behalf of Vader, Vader's investigation on behalf of the Empire. It all comes crashing together with deadly results. At number 7, we have Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens Shattered Empire number 404, concluding the first new canon comic tale set between Episode 6 and 7. As the Empire shatters around them, rebel heroes fight for a better tomorrow. Greg Rucka and Marco Cicchetto take us into the more recent, long time ago. At number 8, we have Astonishing Ant-Man number 1. Scott Lang was a down-on-his-luck divorced ex-con until he stole renowned scientist and superhero Hank Pym's size-altering technology in the hopes of saving his daughter's life. Through that act of doing wrong for the right reasons, Scott inadvertently learned how to be a hero himself. With Pym's blessing and his daughter Cassie at his side, he became the Astonishing Ant-Man. But when a curveball upends Scott's life, will he continue to be a hero, or will he return to his former life of crime? At number 9, we have Wonder Woman number 45. With the Fates dead and Donna Troy still on the run, Wonder Woman must confront the sins of her past and a new, growing threat that's closing in on the Queen of the Amazons. And at number 10, we have Karnak number 1, The Flaw in All Things. My curse is that I see the flaw in all things. Systems, philosophies, structures, people, everything. Never forget who I am. I am Karnak of the Inhumans. You may not know who Karnak is now, but you will when Warren Ellis and Gerardo Zaffino are done with you. Phil Coulson goes to Karnak to help him with the S.H.I.E.L.D. case with inhuman implications, and what he's going to find will terrify you. For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we have Astro City number 28, a look into the life of Wolf Spider, the Australian Honor Guard member. When Queen's Law, a cartoon superhero team from Wolf Spider's youth, suddenly turns up as real heroes, he has to deal with his origin, his childhood dreams, and deadly danger. Guest art by Australian comic star Gary Chalonier, plus a fistful of Australian supervillains too. It's a whole theme thing. Next, we have Batman and Robin Eternal number 3. It's here at last, the sequel to the blockbuster weekly series Batman Eternal. 5 years ago, Batman and Robin worked the most disturbing case of their crime-fighting careers, bringing down the organization of the ultimate human trafficker, the mysterious woman known only as Mother. At the time, Dick Grayson never quite understood the scope of that case, but now its darkest secrets are coming back to haunt him and everyone else who ever worked with Batman. With Bruce Wayne now lost to them, Dick and his allies are out in the cold. Who can they trust? Is someone among them not who they say they are? And who is the deadly silent young woman in black who's come to Gotham City looking for Batman? Prepare yourself for 6 months of international intrigue, twists and turns, and new additions to the world of Batman and Robin from showrunners James Tynion IV and Scott Snyder and writers Tim Seeley, Steve Orlando, Genevieve Valentine, Ed Brisson, Jackson Lansing, and Colin Kelly. We've also got Black Canary number 5. The secrets of Ditto's bizarre abilities come to light, and Dinah and her newfound nemesis, Bo Maeve, come face to face. It's not going to be pretty. Next, we've got Clean Room number 1. It's the start of the first Vertigo series from fan favorite writer Gail Simone with 2000 AD artist John Davis Hunt. Astrid Mueller is the enigmatic and compelling guru of a giant self-help organization, a devastatingly powerful figure in the industry between psychology and religion. Journalist Chloe Pierce's fiancé decides to pick up Astrid's book, and within 3 months he was dead. Something in Astrid Mueller's book made Philip blow his brains out all over Chloe's new kitchen. Now Chloe is on a mission to find out who Astrid Mueller really is. What is this clean room she's been hearing about where your deepest fear and worst moments are revealed? Chloe intends to immerse herself in the clean room and wreak havoc on Astrid's empire. We've also got Gotham Academy number 11. The gang is going downtown. Olive and Maps use Kyle's tennis tournament as an excuse to explore Gotham City and investigate the mysterious appearance of Calamity. Could Olive's mom really be alive? Next, we have Superman Wonder Woman number 22. Following a shocking betrayal, Kal has lost faith in justice. Now he's embarking on a dangerous quest to restore his powers, while Wonder Woman makes unexpected allies of Lois Lane and Lana Lang. We've also got Teen Titans number 12. The Titans are shaken to their foundation when the truth behind Superboy's crimes is revealed. Now, how can the team protect its most powerful member any longer? And we have Titans Hunt number 1 of 12. Convergence is over, but the ripples are still being felt, especially by a young precog named Lilith. What are these visions she's having of a Teen Titans team the world never knew? And why did she feel compelled to seek out Dick Grayson, Roy Harper, Donna Troy, and an Atlantean named Garth and warn them that something dark and sinister is coming after them? Who are Mal, Narc, Hank Hall, and Dawn Granger, and what is their connection to the others and to the fate of every soul on Earth? This is the secret history of the Teen Titans. From Marvel Comics, we have S.H.I.E.L.D. number 11. In order to defeat an enemy from the past, Coulson and his team must resurrect a hero from yesteryear, Dominic Fortune. Only Fortune remembers the secret to conquering the threat at hand, but if S.H.I.E.L.D. wants it, they'll have to bargain for it. Next, we have Secret Wars Agents of Atlas number 1 one-shot, Son of Anarchy, an oppressive domain run by Baron Zemo, the people's only hope, an underground group of rebels, Gorilla Man, M11, Namora, Venus, Marvel Boy, but their leader, Jimmy Woo, captured. Can Agent Coulson help save the Resistance, or will he lead them to their doom? We've also got Uncanny Inhumans number 1. Meet the Uncanny Inhumans. Medusa, Black Bolt, Triton, Reader, Human Torch, Beast? It's 8 months later and everything is different for the Inhumans. Medusa and Johnny Storm are an item, Black Bolt is running covert missions of his own, and something so big happened between the Inhumans and the X-Men that Beast is now on the side of the Inhumans. And if that's not enough, the most dangerous villain throughout Marvel's history is against them, Kang the Conqueror. Don't miss what the epic team behind Death of Wolverine, Charles Soule and Steve McNiven, have in store for you. All this plus a bonus story by Charles and Brandon Peterson. And we have What If Infinity Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 one-shot. What if the Guardians of the Galaxy found out that the Illuminati were hiding Thanos? Thanos is the most wanted man in the universe, and for years he was secretly being held by the Illuminati. The Guardians of the Galaxy just found out, and they're pissed off. From IDW Publishing, we have Back to the Future number 1 of 4. Untold Tales and Alternate Timelines, Part 1. Back to the Future creator/screenwriter Bob Gale returns with all new tales from the twisting and turning timeline that made Back to the Future a, well, timeless pop culture phenomenon. Take a trip back to 1985 and be there when Doc Brown and Marty McFly first meet, and then jump even further back to 1945 to witness Doc's involvement in the super-secret Manhattan Project. All new canonical tales by Bob Gale, creator and screenwriter of Back to the Future. Scripts by John Barber and Eric Burnham, with artwork by Brent Schoonover and Dan Schoening. Part of IDW's Artist Edition month promotion. From Image Comics, we've got The Fade Out number 10. Another secret about the murder comes to light. From Valiant Entertainment, we have Book of Death, The Fall of Exo Manowar number 1 one-shot. The Book of the Geomancer foretells of a deadly future for the Valiant universe. But what if the future holds hope for one powerful hero? After hundreds of years in exile on an alien planet, Eric of Dacia has returned to an unfamiliar Earth, only to find a planet that doesn't remember or want him. Will Eric of Dacia finally find happiness in the aftermath of the apocalypse? Plus the ultimate fate of the Exo Manowar armor revealed in this can't-miss chapter of the summer's biggest event from New York Times bestselling writer Robert Venditti and Harvey Award nominee Clayton Henry. Next, we have Ivar Timewalker number 10. Have you ever wondered what would happen if dinosaurs ruled the Roman Empire? Well, you're going to find out. Ivar and Neela continue their pursuit of the Prometheans through time only to discover some, well, huge changes their machinations have made to history. Meanwhile, who is the Ractus? And what does he have in store for Neela? All this, and again, did we mention dinosaurs? Dinosaurs! New York Times bestselling writer Fred Van Lint and Harvey Award-nominated artist Pere Perez bring you Ending History Part 2. And we've got Rye number 11. Acclaimed writer Matt Kint and superstar artist Clayton Crane bring The Orphan to a brutal boiling point. Now that Rye's allies back in New Japan have reunited, they must figure out a plan to retrieve their friend and topple Father's rule once and for all. Meanwhile, Rye has his work cut out for him on Earth as his past sins come back to haunt him. Luckily for our hero, justice is eternal. Out in trades this week, we have Hawkeye by Matt Fraction and David Aja Omnibus hardcover, Marvel's most critically acclaimed comic in recent memory. Clint Barton, breakout star of a little Marvel movie you might have seen a while back, continues his fight for justice and good rooftop barbecues. With young Avenger Kate Bishop by his side, he's out to get some downtime from being one of Earth's mightiest heroes. But when the apartment building he's moved into and the neighbors he's befriended are threatened by a tracksuit-wearing, dog-abusing gang of Eastern European mobsters who say bro an awful lot, Clint must stand up and defend his new adopted family any way he can. It's Hawkeye, Kate, Pizza Dog et al. Against the Clown, Madame Mask, the tracksuits, and more in a fantastic Eisner Award-nominated reinvention of the Arrowed Avenger. Bro, you read this book, okay, bro? Collects Hawkeye number 1 through 22 and Annual number 1, and Young Avengers Presents number 6. Next, we have Jessica Jones Volume 2, Alias trade paperback. All she ever wanted was to be a superhero, but life had other plans for Jessica Jones. Now the adventures of the would-be Avenger turned bitter superpowered Private Eye continue with 2 new cases. First, Jessica travels to upstate New York to investigate the disappearance of a teenage girl rumored to be a mutant in a prejudiced small town, but a murder mystery and a drunken, ill-advised fling complicate matters. Then the hard-luck PI goes on a date with the Astonishing Ant-Man? Collects Alias number 11 through 15. And we have Moon Knight Epic Collection Volume 2, Shadows of the Moon trade paperback. Ghosts, werewolves, and things that go crazy in the night. Marvel's multiple personality Midnight Marauder takes the fight to the strangest rogues gallery in all of comics, from Arsenal, the one-man army, to the nun with a crossbow known as Stained Glass Scarlet. The Jester is no joke for either Moon Knight or Daredevil. Then there's Morpheus, who's guaranteed to give you sleepless nights. But the old foes are the worst, enemies like Midnight Man and Bushman, who have returned to plague Mark Spector. Or is he Stephen Grant? Jake Lockley? As always with Moon Knight, the voices inside his head can be as destructive as the lunatics trying to kill him. Doug Munch and Bill Sienkiewicz hit full stride in a superhero comic like no other, collecting Moon Knight number 5 through 23. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers. You can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. You can also now find He's Got Issues on eBay at he'sgotissues.com/eBay for great deals on comics, trades, and superhero and pop culture merchandise with free shipping in the United States. And of course, you can still find me on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram to see everything I'm reading as I read it. There's links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.